Hi, Zach Pritchard here again with Choc Beer Company. Today we're here at our brewery, in the actual brewery. This is the brew kettle behind me. We're going to talk a little bit, or I'm going to talk a little bit about Waving Wheat. This is our Belgium style white beer, or wheat beer. It's chapter 3 in our story series. To tell you a little bit about what goes in the beer so you know what you're experiencing when you drink it, we use churro barley, red wheat, and flaked oats in this beer. To hop it, we use perlay. We also add Indian coriander as a spice. You'll find that in most white beers or some type of spice, coriander is a pretty popular one. Some breweries don't use Indian, some breweries will use a Mexican coriander, so we think that's a point of differentiation in the taste of our beer. Something that's important with this beer and a lot of Belgian beers in general, or Belgium style beers, is to really rouse the bottle, to shake it up when you pour it, because so much of the flavor of this beer comes from the yeast and the yeast characteristics, and they settle to the bottom after bottling condition. So just shake them up like so, and then pour. You'll find the taste is a lot better representation of what we at the brewery want the beer to taste like. Now, if you look at the beer, it becomes pretty evident why this is called the white beer, the white beer style. It's a very pale color, very cloudy. That comes mainly from the wheat that's added to this beer. Again, just a very simple name, but a very fitting name. Now, when you smell the beer, it's going to be citrusy, but something that's important, or at least stylistically correct about white beers, is no part of this beer should be overpowering. It shouldn't be just really citrusy. You shouldn't smell it and just be taken aback. Everything about this beer is settled. That's what makes it great. That's what makes it a good beer to drink, especially in some warmer summer, springtime months, which are just around the corner. Now, when you taste this beer, what you're going to get right up front, you're going to taste that citrus, that fruity smell, almost a lemon taste going on in there. As the beer kind of works around on your palate, on your tongue, you're going to begin to taste that spice. Sometimes it's almost like a light, dark spice, maybe a pepper, a very mild peppery taste. But that's the coriander, the Indian coriander you're getting right there. When we were developing this beer, it was actually one of the more difficult ones we had to develop. We brewed quite a few different batches before we got something that we thought we were happy with, and we are very happy with it now. We actually add a full extra barrel. We're brewing on a 15-barrel system, so 16 barrels in the sparge of this beer. And what we found that does is it really mutes and brings into balance the beer. Like I was talking earlier, you don't want it to be too spicy, too yeasty, or too malty. And that's what we really found. When we added a little bit of extra water to the sparge, the beer really came into balance. The spices weren't overpowering anymore. They were perfect, or at least as close to perfect as we could get them, with the yeast and the malts. I think you're going to enjoy this beer quite a bit. I know we do here at the brewery, so pick up a 6-pack and enjoy it tonight. Cheers.